So we'll get started here. And if you're in a quiet place, or if you're sitting down, if you're not driving, let's start by just taking a couple deep breaths in, and you can close your eyes or you can keep them open, whatever you want to do. And just start to bring your awareness to your breath. Let's invite the presence into our awareness. Not needing to control your breath, just be aware of it. And as you breathe, just begin to quiet your mind and let go of the past. Let go of any worries about the future. Anything that you have to do, you don't really need it in this moment. Keeping your awareness to your breath. Notice how your in-breath is cooler than your out-breath. Relax your body on every out-breath. Feel the center of yourself. If you're sitting, feel the seat under your butt. Feel roots growing from your feet into the earth, through the floors of your house or the concrete or wherever you're at. Feel it extending to deeper and deeper into Mother Earth. And as it reaches deeper into the core of our mother, feel the heartbeat, feeling the pulse. And connecting the roots of you to it. And notice there are other roots connected to this center. And you bring your awareness to the oneness in the pulse. $8 billion roots extending from the center of the earth. 8 billion heartbeats beating as one. And for reflection this morning on the holiness of a quiet moment by Marianne Williamson, there is a way of relaxing into our center, letting other people have their say, knowing our being is even more radiant at times when we're in a space of not doing. When the ego steps back, the power of God steps forward. Too often we feel we're invisible unless we're making the cool comment, doing this or doing that. But we're so much more powerful when grounded in silence. Taking a deep breath, knowing that what you don't say can be just as powerful as what you do say. Thinking deeply about something before making a response. Such actions leave room for the spirit to flow, to harmonize your circumstances, and move them into a more positive direction. How many times have we felt we've blown it simply by talking when we later wish we hadn't, or by showing off when we could have just sat there? God's Spirit will always reveal the truth to us if we simply don't block His guidance. And we block it by talking first, attitudinally walking ahead of truth. This happens when we push too hard, trying frantically to make things happen or keep things from happening because we lack faith in the invisible order of things. That is why Holy Instant matters. It is a moment of quiet when the Spirit enters and makes right of all things. And we'll take another couple breaths and start to bring your awareness to your fingers and your toes and move them. And you can start to open your eyes whenever you're ready. And today is Happy Wednesday, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for joining us here this morning. Let me turn this music off. How's everyone doing? I know there was like such a crazy weekend. A lot of people were traveling, going to conferences. Anybody want to share anything? Any aha moments from this week? Any challenges, maybe? Any good conversations you've had? Go ahead, Fraser.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, we had a really awesome call yesterday with 360. Max, myself, and a few others were there, and it was really really good. Like very inspirational. Abdullah was there, and he's like, here's some information. Here's some information. Here's some information. He's like, you guys want some help? Text me here, right? Like it was so awesome, and yeah, I felt really good after that.
Awesome. Yeah, the 360U is something that Jacqueline has created, and I'm glad to be a part of, and honored to be a part of, actually. And for those of you guys that know me, I truly believe that women should actually be the top of the hierarchy in terms of business or, all the creations out there. I feel like men are here to serve, women hold the vision, and they give us direction, give us guidance. So Jacqueline started the 360. And of course, me being the champion of women, I'm always like, all right, whatever it takes. And 360U was created, and myself, Abdul, and it's great because that 360U literally is a bunch of men supporting the vision of the goddess, of the woman, of the queen. So, and you know what's funny? I was watching I love watching things on ants. This might be where it actually comes from. Like ants are the most powerful insects. Of all the insects out there, nobody messes with ants because they just in numbers, they just take over everything. Right? There's nothing that gets in the way. And what do all the ants serve? Serve one queen. All the millions of ants. It's crazy. They got it right. All right. Anybody else want to share anything? Uh-huh.
you were saying that it's true. It's beautiful. I think that if we all, not just, it's beautiful that you have generated that kind of space, but if everywhere, like in the world, we wouldn't see each other as I need to compete with this, lady here, but we get to collaborate with each other. I truly believe we would live a different life, like a different world.
Hmm.
So thank you for saying that. It's beautiful.
Yeah, when men have direction and knows what he's serving, when the masculine knows what he's serving, um, there's less competition, right? It isn't about competition. But when men are at the top, we're like, wait, it's all about competition. It's all about scarcity and fighting for something. And we're like, we start putting, and this is the conversation of today, is we start to put our like salvation into random things that are not serving our greatest good, our purpose, right? We start fighting over resources and, you know, just stupid things. I mean, think about every war that was started in our human history. It's all men at the top, and half of it is just, it's all like an ego battle, right? Even on the religious side of it, the men at the top creating these so-called holy wars. And so I labels today's topic as, the end of feeling lost. And when we don't have something that we serve, when we don't recognize a greater cause, we get lost. When we don't have a purpose, right? I was having a conversation with one of my friends. I was in Dallas, and he was saying, he was like, I felt really lost, and I wrote this down because it impacted me a lot. Like, I was just thinking, he's like, I just felt really lost. I was going all over the place. I was like, wait, I need a dog. No, I need to go hiking. No, let me go ride a bike. And it's just like trying to just find a way to pass time. When we don't have a purpose, when we don't have a vision, when we don't understand where our true happiness and fulfillment comes from, we start to look into what the Course calls false idols. We're like looking around. It's literally insane. We're looking around to give our power over to something. And it's all the material things. We think that more money means more happiness. More money equals more travel equals more happiness. No. Happiness and fulfillment aren't really connected to those things. It's not connected to getting more of something. Happiness and fulfillment comes from the recognition and the contentment of everything you already have and everything that is here. So, this is what the Course says, that we create special relationships to things. And I'm in it too, because I'm like, I love my watch. I love the nice things that I have. I love the house that I live in. And it's, we get to practice constantly giving it over. Like, all of these things are great. It's not bad to have them, right? It's not bad to receive recognition or be rewarded, but don't let the ego grasp onto it. And this is why the Course says, as long as we are here in a body, it's okay. You're going to do it. But what's the way out? That's why the Course says forgiveness is your path to salvation. Is to recognize we will do that and be okay with it. That at times I will make God of money, right? I will think that if somebody just, spoke to me kindly or gave me the opportunity, then I'll be happy. And to quickly forgive ourselves for creating these false idols. But what happens a lot is we get so caught up in it. Oh man, here I go again. And then we attach the we attach what we do to a story in our past. My wife was just sharing with me. She actually got really emotional. She's like, when things go wrong, I make it like my responsibility, like I did something wrong, and it's something I did in my past. And it's almost like, oh, the brain connects two things, that may not even be connected. But if you did connect it, it means, like, what is it for? See, we're always asking ourselves, what is it for? Like, it's not wrong that you connected it to a past, but if you enslave this moment from something in the past, like, why did I do that? What is it for? It isn't for me to make an excuse of my actions now, but it's, oh, this is pointing to something else that I get to forgive, right? It's like tiny shifts, small shifts in our thinking. Because the ego will say, oh, there it is. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. The end. Right? The ego just wants you to suffer just a little bit. But you got to be right. See, the ego wants to be right. If you got to be right, okay, I can handle the suffering and whatever is going through me this moment. But if we can just add the forgiveness, realizing that the reason why I'm even attaching this to it is because I get to forgive something in my past also.
Hi, Alex.
Hey, Safer.
How are you,
Cypher.
man?
What's up?
Good. First time I'm in your call this morning. I love it.
Hey,
You're
thanks.
doing you said something really cool about faith,
Mm-hmm.
and we lack so much faith. Buddha used to say that if you have enough to eat today, if you have somewhere to sleep, and if you have clothes, everything's an illusion. Because we live so much in the future, and we are so fearful of the future from all the different things that we hear in life, that we become slaves.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been in real estate for a long time, and I sold all my properties 2 years ago to go to South America to invest in gold.
Mm.
I was born in Colombia, but I grew up in this country. And I just want to share my story a little bit because I think it can inspire a lot of us,
Sure.
including myself.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of equity. I maybe had $800,000, and I took them to buy a gold mine. I went to Colombia. I went to a place called El Chocó, which I never been. I'm from Medellin, which is a different place, but I don't have family there. I don't have that many people there anymore. I mean, I do, but I grew up here, so they don't know me as much. Anyways, I got kidnapped and I got robbed. They sold me um, a title that was not correct, and I went through a lot. Coming back here and like starting again has been really challenging, but I always remember all the things that I've done in my life for me to live from the inside. And sometimes our ego is our worst enemy, which is always telling us how bad we are doing or what mistakes we're doing, and that inner voice. But when you have faith, like what you just said, and you unslave yourself and you start enjoying being human. Being human is just being who we are and who we really are, showing up who we really are, not trying to please anybody or trying to look good in front of cameras, in front of people, but being truthful. And I can sense that from you, Alex. You are very truthful, and I love that. That's why I'm here, and that's why I'm showing up. So I lost pretty much a lot of stuff, but I gained something that I would have never been able to gain if I didn't go through this experience. And what I gained is the endurance to understand that in life things can happen very quickly to anybody. We can be in a very good place, and all of a sudden, an accident, anything, a death in the family, even our own death, can just cause everything to go away.
Mm.
We attach ourselves so much to our beliefs and our things that we think we have, that we identify ourselves with. And due to these effects, that all these things that happened to me, I developed something called the art of the three bodies. And the mind is the water, the heart is the fire, and the earth and the breath, and the earth and the earth and the air are the human body. So I'm developing this system for people to practice every day in the mornings. I've been practicing it for maybe 6 months. I've been a yoga teacher and I'm in the healing arts. So I had to do this for myself because never had suicidal thoughts, never thought I was going to be so depressed, never been depressed in my life, ever. Even though I grew up in the time of Pablo Escobar in Colombia, I saw my brothers got shot. Like, I had a really rough growing up. So that took me to going to Peru, doing ayahuasca, being in all religions,
Hmm.
meeting you in gratitude, thank God. That was great. I done a lot of different courses. So it took me to this understanding that we're not being human anymore. We lost all of our abilities to feel. We're just thinking all day long. And when you're in emptiness, you can really be creative and have that. So I I see people that have worse experiences than me. And one of the books that I've been reading again is the Viktor Frankl as
Man's
Man's Search
search
for
for
Meaning,
meaning. Yeah.
and that has inspired me a lot because I had to go back to the book to see that people in different and more difficult circumstances have made it through. And now it's like, okay, I lost my office, I like all the things that I was doing. I was doing a lot of fix and flips. So now I'm starting again, and I'm starting stronger, and I'm starting to create this for not for myself like I was doing before, but I want to build teams. I want to be able to participate because I was quiet. I would not speak. I would just be living from the inside. And I said, okay, when I make it big, I'm gonna go out and be a speaker. I want to go out and tell my story. I'm going to be able to inspire people because I know I have that gift. And I was going to. That's what I thought. When I become this big millionaire with the goal of these things, that's when I'm going to speak. And everything just changed. And now
Mhm.
I'm able to speak from my heart. And I know that there's a lot of people that have been going through a lot of stuff. But when we start having faith and we get out of that slavery, we can really show ourselves and be a good thing for ourselves, for our families, and for our friends. So I wanted to just share a little bit because this is my first time in the call. I appreciate your time, Alex, and I hope that this inspires some. And I'm here for you, Alex, especially, and for anybody that I can network help with. And I'm starting to like do my real estate investing again. I'm putting out uh, different offers, 20 offers a day. I'm starting to work again and focus on what I know how to do. But yeah, it's just playing a game. This life is a beautiful game. We just need to connect with ourselves and give ourselves this big love and mercifulness of the things that we think that we didn't do right, and forgive ourselves and start again. Every
Hmm.
day we die. Every day we go to sleep, we die. There's another opportunity for tomorrow. And not to overthink it, but just know what is our purpose and know that our purpose is aligned with eternity, with what we are able to do for others. Because the actual reason we're here is to contribute. We came here for three things. As the three bodies that I'm developing, this is one of the themes. We come here to experiment, to experience. Most people, yeah, we have goals and things, but before that, what is it that we really want to experience? We come here to evolve. That's one of the things that a human being needs. And the third thing on the three bodies is we come here to share. So those three things are very important. And when we are aligned with that and we're focused on this. There's so much information out there. There's so many things that are driving all of us crazy, and people that never took time. I've been in meditation pasadanas for 8 days, quiet. I've been in Peru doing shamans. I've been like in many places doing a lot of things. So I'm able to talk, I'm able to speak, and I'm able to say those things. There's a lot of people that have voice and they're just giving opinions on things because there's a lot of information. To me, knowledge is experience. When you have experience, you can speak through experience. Doesn't matter how many books you've read, but if you don't have the experience, you're just giving opinions. So, um, thank you for this time, and I love you, bro.
Hmm. Yeah, thank you for sharing and sharing your voice and contributing to this space. And welcome to the ACIM community. And yeah, one of the things that you talk about experience, right? So experience also comes from like your beliefs too, right? We experience things as an extension of our beliefs. Like if we believe something to be good, if we give, like, for example, right here on this call, right? Anybody that is listening, your experience of this directly relates to your openness, your patience, your commitment to being a support to, your brothers and sisters out there. Like your experience is directly connected to like what you bring to the table, right? Like this is why whenever I do a lot of my calls, I say, come here setting the intention that you are going to give value and you will have the experience of value. So experience is still based on us, right? It's not really based on outside. We can like watch a movie and totally, oh, here's a good one. So if whenever I watch somebody, like let's say performing on stage or you know, I don't know, playing an instrument, comedy clubs, all of that. And sometimes I'll be like, wow, that is not funny, or that's not good, that's terrible. Then I'll interrupt my mind and say, well, what if this was like my good friend that was on the stage? Oftentimes when you're just so proud of somebody or your kid, right? It doesn't matter how bad your kid is, you can still have an experience of like, oh, wow, that was amazing. So even our experiences technically are not the truth of things, right? So when you said give opinions, even when we share based off of our experience, it's still technically an opinion and a perception. And this is why in the beginning of we shared here from what Marianne said was like, are we able to honor the silence, right? Sometimes the things less said are also just as powerful as the things that are said. And when we can be really aware of what we want to deliver and what we want to say, aligned to truth. And where is truth? Truth is something that doesn't come from you per se, right? It comes from us knowing that we don't rely on our personal strength. We don't rely on things that are here in this world or even our experiences, but we rely on a higher power or a divine guidance. Knowing that whatever is shared, whatever happens, it's part of this divine order. And can I be in the flow of it? In the flow in it. I can share my experience now, just adding to it, but oftentimes we take our experience and we make it the truth too. Right? Because even that isn't the truth. Even what we experience, we don't even know if that's the truth. Marianne's like, oh my God, my truth and my experience is that my mom and my dad fought. And then my truth is also that I can't be in a loving in a safe, loving relationship because of the experience I had with my mom and my dad. So sharing from that place is the truth. It is a truth with a small t, which isn't the truth. Right? Because then she found loving when her dad passed or her mom passed, one of them, she found you know, letters from her dad to her mom of when he was like courting her. And then all of a sudden the whole experience changed. It's like I lived it, but this is, oh my God, how wrong did I have it all this time? And then compassion comes in and the forgiveness comes in, and then love returns back to the space. It's no longer a blame, no longer a crutch for why I am withholding love. The truth always just comes down to, where am I withholding love and projecting why separation is to be real? That's our internal battle all the time, is between the ego and the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is more silent. It's an inward focused conversation. And the ego is an outward blasting. Right? So, it's when you speak, right? And when you take action, like, can it be something that is very thought out? Is it, we want to set the intentions of it. Right? I set an intention before every time that I talk on any Zoom calls, or when I meet somebody, that, God, just guide me in this direction. I know there can be no false, no wrong direction where we go. Just guide me in whatever is happening here. See, my intention is to let God use me as a vehicle. Maybe I'll say something dumb and I'll feel dumb, but my intention is to let God flow through. So even if I do that, I was just playing a role that I'm meant to play. See, forgiveness can happen very, very fast. Forgiveness is just getting yourself out the way. Being okay that, oh, I did something here, but it's not wrong. Or somebody else. Like, as you're able to forgive and be compassionate with yourself, you will be able to do for others. And so forgiveness is huge. Yeah. So thank you for your share, because I started to have a certain awareness come through in my own little experience, right? About trusting and I feel like I got to know you better. Like, that is a crazy story, that you went to buy a gold mine in South America with $800,000 and getting scammed. Right? Because I know the feeling of losing things. I think we all can relate to, like, losing something that we made false god of. The Course says that special relationships, special relationships, and when we form something, is relationships that are formed as a substitute for our relationship with God. And so when we lose money, like, we all know that feeling, lose people that we love. Like, the fear around it, fear of not being good enough, not being a good enough parent. If you're selling your house and you're moving, somewhere where you uprooted everything, you thought this was it, this was the dream, this was heaven, and you got to let that go just to go after something else, or any of those things. So
Alex,
yeah.
in Kabbalah, they say that we have something called the tikkun, which is the correction, and we say that we attract things as we think of them in their inconscient realm. So I've been having this fight for these years, saying, did I attract this? How did I attract this? Why did I sabotage myself? Did this occur to me for what? And what I come up with is that every time that something that we think is unfair, or that it's not what we want to have in our existence, is for that tikkun, for that correction in our spirit, so we're able to contribute to the world and to contribute to others, no matter if we think it's right or wrong, but to take it as an experience of being able to grow from it and be able to give somebody a hand when they're in a place of need.
Mm.
because of this, I formed a foundation for people that are committing suicide. And I did it in Medellin, and I'm doing it here. And depression is a big thing. People are very depressed, and even people that have it all. I went to a friend's house about 3 weeks ago. He's got a beautiful wife, two kids. He's done a lot of real estate with me. I told him a little bit about what happened, and he started crying. He's like, "Cypher, I'm not happy. How can you be happy? How can you be okay? I would have been like, and I have everything, and I'm not happy." So people that have everything, they're not even happy. So we're losing our human touch because we live in this illusionary mind, in this illusionary world. But yeah, the perception, like you said, when we experience comes from our perceptions, and we can change our perceptions to be grateful in our big goal and experience, and to have that, to know where we want. It's so hard for us to really know what we really want. We have to go dive down in our souls, and what we really want is to be happy. And we look for the happiness in things that are not there. And then when we find it, they're like, "Oh, this is not what I wanted," and then everything drops. But this circle that you're creating, it really touches everybody's heart, and it goes inside. And that's what we want. We just want to be in peace, and to have this understanding that, yeah, our experience is not the whole, is not really it. It's just part of it.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. It's our experience is not, I do the way that I play with experience too is, sometimes, my wife's here. Sometimes my wife will ask me to do things, and I'll have like for a second, like, especially if it's like a rapid fire of things to do. Right? Sometimes it's like I'm about to walk downstairs, like, wait, this, and I'm like, oh my God. But I can immediately interrupt that and change my experience by bringing myself to the present moment, which is like, okay, let me go and do this. And I just do it, like focusing directly into it. Not there's this I have to do after, this I have to do after. And you can change your experience around it. We really literally can shift our experience because we can change from agitation to the present moment. And the present moment, the only thing that is ever there is just love. It's love and kindness and forgiveness. And that's what's available when we get present. So our experiences like can just change. Like I can sit in the room. Sometimes I'll go to I reckon, and this is why it's always inner work. I'll go to a conference or I'll go somewhere and I'll listen to the same thing for like the 10th time, right? Especially when it's like real estate conferences, they're kind of designed to bring newbies into a mastermind, right? So I'll sit there, I'll be like, oh, this is the 1,000th time I'm learning the same thing, like how to get your NOI and how NOI reflects the whatever the evaluation. And then I'll be like, oh, okay, let's experience from a beginner place again. Right? That's the issue. We can't, when we sit there from a place of like, I already know, we take away the ability to learn. We take away the ability to have a new experience. That's why the practice of doing something over and over and over again is a great teacher. Because we tend to do something, and after the third or fourth time of doing it, it's like, like we lose our appreciation and gratitude for it. I mean, just think about trying to watch a movie, the same movie 5 times, 6 times, 7 times. You're probably like, even though the first time was a great movie, the second time, because we have expectations already, we can't see anything that we missed. And we'll tend to actually distract our mind. So, the meditations, the sitting in silence, the being still, like these are all great practices for, just how we relate to the world. But yeah, our experiences, it's funny. Welcome, Tim. So what else? Who else wants to share anything that's been going on for you around this topic today? Because Fraser, go ahead. Gotta unmute.
My experience from when I was in Las Vegas with everyone there has changed me so much that everyone's asking me, it's like, you seem like a different person. What's going on? You're so happy because of the people I've surrounded myself with. And there's so much love that you guys have given. And it's so powerful that I can't stop sharing. Like it's the love just coming out of me like a waterfall. And it's every single person that was there have their own unique way of helping to see myself as being stuck in, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, and rather than trying to live in the moment a little bit more. And I'm continually trying to, bring myself to that because of that. Instead of living time in the like that, but living it like this. It's really quite a change in how you feel, and it just, I can't stop talking about everything that you do. I'm continually trying to invite people to come to. I'm like, especially people that are already doing things that you do, and I'm just like, you gotta meet Alex. You gotta meet Alex. Like, you gotta come and see Adam and Alex and all these people. I'm like, they're so great. Like every single human that comes here, there's just something so special about it, and there's no words that can actually describe it. It's just simply the love that I feel from everyone. It's really, really great, and I'm just always thankful for that.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, that was quite an experience. So for those of you guys that are like, well, what's Fraser talking about? So we do a retreat once a year in Las Vegas. We hold some mini ones in Florida throughout the year, and I also go to Peru as well. And these are places for me to reconnect back to myself and reflect on how I've been doing life. What are the things that are important that I may have missed? It's a great place for that. So, what's important, Fraser, is that you're able to integrate what you learned in those experiences into your everyday life. Because a lot of times what happens is we'll have a great experience. Like, let's say, I know a lot of people went to Tony Robbins, right, this past weekend. So you go to Tony Robbins, you have this, really like high energy that you feel. But if you come back and you don't have a place to practice it, you don't have a call like this where you can just pause for a moment, that you can reflect back to these experiences. It's hard to maintain it. We call it in the transformational language like going back into the drift. The life is drifty because people around us are drifty. It's hard for us to bring an experience back and have everybody understand what we just went through, right? But having a space like this and sharing and knowing that, okay, I can share. Yes, Marlene. So I'll be going to Peru in April. Okay, so if anybody wants to join on that spiritual journey, it'll be April. But you'll see that a lot of the calls that I do, a lot of courses that I offer is about keeping and holding on to this experience, of presence, of creativity, of, speaking about high level conversations like this. So actually, for anybody that is here listening, we are running something called the Clarity Catalyst. It's a course that myself and a friend runs. It's going to start this Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern. It is a course on finding passion and relighting your purpose again, tapping into creativity. It's a really fun and light course. It's 8 weeks. If anyone is interested, just like message me directly. But it starts this Sunday. There's a lot of amazing, amazing people in my life that have gone through already. When I went through the training, it really changed my life. When my wife went to the trainings, it was my first time teaching it. We weren't even dating at the time. So she went through the training when I first taught it, and now we're married. So it's a pretty special course to me, and we'll definitely it's gonna be a great one. We just finished one like about a month and a half ago. We're launching it again. Starts this Sunday. So yeah, that's another thing that I do. And then A Course in Miracle calls on these calls on Sundays and Wednesdays is my favorite. This is my favorite because it's just a place for us to share, see talk high level, right? Remove our egos, or see our egos and then forgive it. Awesome. Good share, Fraser. Appreciate you. So yeah, for anyone that it's like, what is your daily practice that has you be connected and in tuned with spirit? Thank you, Adam. Okay, who else? What else is going on?
Oh, I was going to. Hi, Alex.
Ooh, look at that. What's up, Ariana?
It's good. Everything is great.
Uh-huh.
Actually, I was going to also, I'm going to text you about what you mentioned this class because I'm definitely interested in it. But I just want to give my contribution, and what really is helping me, it was starting just practicing mindfulness every time I could. I'm washing the dishes and I'm like, I can feel the water in my hands. Sometimes it's just about, oh, my feet are on the floor. Or it's like, it started by practicing maybe 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, 5 minutes. And then I little by little find myself in the moment, being able to know where I'm at with myself and with what I have and what I am bringing, like might come from, and then I can change it. Because in this moment where I can go, it will happen in like a fraction of a moment where you just become almost like by command aware, right? As I find myself like, let's say I am rushing while I understand the importance of slowing down, right? I totally know the importance of that. And then I can catch myself in the moment in which I feel the emotion right, or whatever situation I might be in. And in that moment, I can, because I practice mindfulness, I can see it and I can choose differently. But what really worked, besides for all the classes and the courses and such, it really was this putting myself for 1 month practicing every day mindfulness with the intention of mastering it.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
that's what worked for me.
Awesome. Great share, and good to see you. Good to see you here.
Always good.
Yeah, I think one of the best ways to just develop a relationship to like your breath, right? Like sometimes when I'm feeling ungrounded, I'll just take a massive breath in. I'll just like really pay attention and I'll just stretch myself open. I'll be like, okay, now it's a new moment. What are we doing here, Spirit? What are we gonna be doing? And I just have a lot of fun with it. I think, part of what gets to heal the human race is just having fun with what we're doing. Right? Like as we're sitting here for an hour and a half, like can we just have fun and bring the joy to this moment? When we're doing the dishes, can we just have fun with ourselves? I mean, I'm always giggling and laughing at what I'm doing. Like I've created just a funny relationship with myself. And I think it's just important that when we have a great relationship with ourselves, we're not like out there looking and poking, looking for things to satisfy us. Right? Like we're not antsy about sitting still. Sometimes I see people like if there's silence, it's like, whoa, what's going on? Like I feel really antsy when there's nothing going on. You know, if there's like an awkward pause, like, oh, wait, what? It happened last night at dinner. It was pretty funny. But yeah, who else? What else? What else are you guys up to? What other things would you guys like to add to this space? What is this? Someone on YouTube asked. This is we talk about, we bring the teachings of A Course in Miracles into our everyday life, and the goal is to find more peace, more love into all the things we do, whether it's business or our relationships at home. You know, that we may have a space for about an hour and a half on Sundays and Wednesdays that, you know, we don't have to just worry about all the things. We get to reflect. We get to reflect, and and this is A Course in Miracles, this book. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for joining from YouTube. You know, I stream on YouTube. I have no idea who it's going to reach, but I just trust deeply in my heart that wherever this message is supposed to go, and whoever is on here for as long of a period as, you know, you're here, a couple seconds, a couple minutes, you stay for the whole thing. I just, my intention and my prayer is always that a part of what I say goes with you, what is shared, you know, that you may find something for yourself on this call. Haley, go ahead.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
This is my first time joining, and I'm so glad I did. I'm glad I woke up and finally hit attend. But I do want to share like one of the things that I've been struggling with. Well, not even struggling anymore. But it's been positive thinking. I've been really trying to be positive because I'm so anxious for a brighter future. I'm so ready. I'm so, you know, I work hard. I feel like it should be now. You know, so there's so much like anxiety with it. And what I realized is that anxiety is kind of just like the lack of faith that things are not going to go in my favor. So I had to like learn to let that go and have more faith and have more like, hey God, you got this. Like, I'm gonna let you do this. So as soon as I like step back and start like leaning on the positive things that have gone in my life, like I have so much to be thankful for, you know. So then I like use better words in my everyday speech. Like I try to cut out don't. I even teach my daughter, like, hey, let's not say it this way. Let's say I will, or I, you know, it will feel great when, you know. So just changing your mindset to be more positive really, really like makes things brighter. And there's silver linings in every little what we would call mistakes. It's actually not a mistake. So I just wanted to share that.
Yeah. Thank you. That's beautiful. And I think a lot of people go through that too, right? Like I definitely go through that at certain points. But the Course has a great line. The Course says, those who are certain of the outcome can afford to wait, and wait without anxiety. Ooh, that's a great one. You know, so are we certain of our outcome? You know, that comes down to that deep level of faith that you touched upon. It's like God's got our back. Even if we can't see it, even if what it seems like right now is like things are being taken away from me or it's not working out. But it's just like getting rid of the things that don't serve. It's the lessons that you have to learn so that you remember that God's got your back. So those who are certain of the outcome, the Course says, is you're certain that all things are happening for the good for you. And if you're certain of that outcome, you can afford to wait and wait without anxiety. So when anxiety comes up, we can say, "Oh, hey anxiety. Hey Alex, you're not certain of the outcome now, huh? What are you placing? What are you making? What are you substituting for God right now? Where's your faith right now?" So that's kind of like where that it's funny that you say that. All right. Who else? What else?
What's up, my man?
What's up?
So I was just listening to you share about anxiety, or in the mindfulness and presence that was spoken about earlier. And I found this very funny aspect of myself. Not that it's me, right? That like if I'm doing squats or anything in the gym or push-ups or whatever it might be, that and if I'm counting them and I'm getting to an end goal, I know that when I'm on 8 or 10, I'm like starting to give out already. When I don't count and I just lift for the sake of lifting, or push up for the sake of pushing up, it's like, holy crap, I just did 50 when I thought I only had 10 in my mind. So like assigning these limitations and living into the limitations of some kind of a future goal coming to be actually creates a limitation within my own mind, right? And then we were down at, you talk about conferences when you first opened the call and all the things that are going on around this beautiful planet that people get to participate in, and sending blessings to those things that are not so beautiful, for those who are enduring that as well. We're in this Wonderland conference, and we go down to Wonderland, and we're thinking, Alice in Wonderland, and a lot of it's around utilization of different alternative medicines for healings and things like that. And at the same time, about 50% of it was about longevity and biohacking and all this stuff. And two of the scientists up on stage said the human body is designed to live to 125 years old. But when we put it in our mind that the average lifespan is whatever it is now, 75 for men, 78 for women, or whatever it is now, like that's what the body starts to actually live into, and put these limitations of this is what I'm going to have, this is what I'm going to have. And like even transformational trainings, these declarations that are made, like I declare that I'm going to, have this happen by a certain date without any evidence. But like it's so funny to witness myself, even in the declaration, the mind's in the background calculating what that declaration is going to be driven from some kind of limitation that's already been put upon myself from the programming of life, right? So it's been such a beautiful practice to, some great meetings, Alex, that you and I have been able to share, and with others, like going into these meetings with these like big builders or doing all these things, like where can I let go of any thought of what it might be and just lift the weight when it shows up in the room. And it's like this, that, I heard mindfulness also, and it's like mindfulness, even like in the word, brings in the word mind, which oftentimes for me gets collapsed with thinking. But like mindfulness for me is actually heart, the true mind, and like living in that space in the present moment, being surprised, and like and now I can see more and more and more, Alex, why you could like laugh and about it, because it's less of the thinking and more of like that true mind, that spiritual heart space. And I just wanted to share that as I was hearing some sort of like connected dots with each one of the shares so much this morning, and give thanks and gratitude for everyone who did share, especially about that story of going down to Colombia. Like eyes wide shut is the way I like to live. It's like, okay, no anticipation, but like, what's my intuition telling me about this thing right here, right now? Like, does it feel a little too good to be true?
Yeah.
And just pause for a moment and notice, where that's coming from. Just wanted to share. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. I know, you and I have been the last couple of days, we've seen, yesterday specifically, we sat down with some big builders and, sitting with people that are just, creating 12,000, building 12,000 units, and, big people. And we sit there with calmness and knowing that we, without anxiety, right? A lot of times when you sit down with really, really big players, like there's some anxiety that comes up, and we get to trust in each other and sit there and I exited the meeting for a little bit to be on the call. I'm like, yeah, just trust whatever Adam thinks. So yeah, thanks for being on this journey, brother. Isabel says, can I read that again? Okay, so those who are certain of the outcome can afford to wait, and wait without anxiety. And there's you can also say that patience is natural to those who trust. And so patience is natural to those who trust. And when we don't have patience, when we have anxiety, it means we don't trust in the moment, whatever it is that we don't trust. All right. What else? Who else?
I'll go ahead, Alex.
Jessica Brothers, welcome.
Hey,
Go ahead, Eric.
What you just said right there was something that, like patience has been coming up for me a lot, even since Vegas, really.
Mm-hmm.
Patience in like every moment of my life, and right lately. And when it's like wavering, it is the trust. Like that resonates. It's like there's a lack of trust, and I'm like, wait, how is everyone and everything against me? I'm in a down spot, and like, how do I build myself back up? And it's like I've been able to really not stay down too long, which has been good. The faith and trust, and I think another thing was just like forgiveness has been huge for me too. It's because like something will happen and it's not personal. Maybe it's business, but it's definitely not personal. And I'm taking it as personal, and I'm like, well, where can I withhold love, like from that person from now? And they're like, it's not personal, it's business, and I love you. And I'm like,
but I'm taking it personal.
Yeah, but I'm going to take it personal for now.
That's funny.
I'll be back.
Yeah.
But yeah, just watching my lessons lately, and things have been, everything's happening for me for my highest growth. So it's like, okay, you're getting close to what you really want. Here's some tests. Here's some distractions. And I'm just like trusting that everything's perfect, and that I know what I need to do, and just that the key is to love myself. And yeah, I'm grateful for this call, and you brothers, you and Adam.
Yeah.
And all of our awesome tribes.
Yeah, for sure. It's cool because what you share, like when you have like anxiety, when you take it personal, it's like we just make up a bunch of stuff, like it's all about us, really, how we relate to things. And we take things personal, and when it's not personal, right, it's someone else's stuff, really. And me and my wife, me and Love, a lot of times, one of the things we work on is like we may react, we may withhold love, we may say things with not being nice, right? Some of these things may come out of our mouth, but let's practice not taking it personal. It's hard to not take it personal, right? Especially if I just like reacted and yelled at you, right? It's like it's hard to not take it personal, but it's also their own stuff, right? And we get to be like super kind with ourselves, and also like it's like there's a shield. You can see like there's a shield. It's like that's not my stuff, right? And even without like defending it, just allowing it to be, right? Like, oh, that's not my stuff, great, and just carry on, and just trusting. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a situation come up yesterday.
Uh-huh.
A real estate deal I just did 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And this person's going through like a whole bunch of stuff in their life, and I know it's not personal, but like they did attack me, and said like I didn't do things right, or just a few things that were like questioning my job that I did, and I did the very best that I could for them.
Mm-hmm.
I know that. And I was like, all right, well, I'm not going to defend myself, but here are the facts. And, thank you for speaking your truth. It's the only way we heal. And here's my truth, and here are the facts. And I let it go. I didn't sit in it. It could have skewed my day off, but it was a rainy day anyway, so everything's okay.
Yeah.
Just
Awesome. Yeah, great job. I see you doing the work every day with all your stuff, and thanks for always being on here and sharing and contributing. Just like seeing you actually in these calls it's great. It's great.
It's awesome. I'm glad
Yeah.
to be here.
Mm-hmm. Fraser, what's up?
I was going like this, and I was sending Eric a hug. I'm like, bro, I got you. Love you, man. Thanks for sharing.
Love you too, bro. Thanks.
Yeah. So Marianne wants to say something about this, so she'll just chime in to what day 130 says in here. It says, this is for reflection on making love the bottom line. The probability vectors for the next 20 years are disturbing. Humanity is like the Titanic headed for the iceberg. Whether the iceberg is weather catastrophe brought about by global warming, nuclear disaster brought by our own reckless use of nuclear energy, or shortage of food or water supply. If looked at only through a rational lens, it could be argued that in all probability, one way or another, our goose is cooked. But we have more than a rational lens through which to look. For a spiritual perspective broadens not only the quality of our perspective, but also the quantity in our choices. This is the invitation of this moment in history, to step out of the confines of our limited, mechanistic, fear-based thinking that now dominates our civilization. The human race has reached a crossroad. Continue to think and act as we have been thinking and acting, thus reaping the consequences of a loveless, reckless way of being, or break through the highest calling of life on earth, to make love our new bottom line, thus creating the miracles that will save us from our own self-destructive way. So making love our bottom line. It's like we buy real estate and we buy multifamily. It's like NOI is the bottom line. What if we change it to love is the bottom line? That's an interesting approach. Let me think about how to add that into my teachings of multifamily moving forward. Let's make love our bottom line. People are gonna think I've jumped off the deep end if I start posting that on social. It's funny. All right, what else? We got some more time here. Anyone else? And continuing on today's topic of like feeling lost, like where do we feel lost? Where do we feel uncertain, right? Like lost doesn't have to be such a negative connotation to loss, but where are we uncertain about anything? Marlene.
Yeah, Alex, today's trying to get every little bit of it, and the connection is not the greatest because I'm driving to Fort Myers actually right now, and there was an accident almost right in front of me right now, and I was like, I really feel for them. It's like, oh, I'm so sorry that happened, and then I turn into, but let's trust that maybe God is saving you from something bigger, like he had to stop you right there. There were like 4 cars involved. And if we really, really believe that everything served us for a reason, like we cannot see it yet. But if we really believe that, and it's somewhere really the Christian Bible, it says that everything it happens for something like it happens for your best interest if you love God, and we all love God, right? I believe. So and the other thing that really I think it was Adam speaking about that is so interesting that our body is designed to live up to 125. I will share for whomever, might be benefit from this, who knows. Since I did, I don't know if you know what, it, I can't even remember the name of that course that I did, but they always said, they make us repeat, you are whole, complete, and perfect. And that's what I said to my two kids before they go to sleep. I say their name, and they just, in their ears, you are whole, complete, and perfect. Mommy loves you and will always love you just the way you are. And I declare that you will live at least 121 years old. So I didn't know really that we were supposed to live that long, but I'm already planting that in their not only their head but their soul, and I truly believe it will impact them and it will make a difference for them. So anyhow, the whole call has been really, really a blessing for me. I'm actually driving to meeting some clients. And by the way, for all those, big projects you're planning, I got you for windows and doors, okay? Not impact throughout the whole country. Now I have a better, manufacturer. And it's like, just doors are opening almost without me trying. Like one day I will share with this one client that just don't stop calling. It's like, hey, do you have this? I'm like, no, I told you I'm no longer with this company. He's like, look for me, look for me. So now all of a sudden, I'm like working with manufacturers either here in the US or even from Turkey. Now I can provide extrusion, and all this has happened in the last 2 weeks without me even trying. So I'm just trusting, right? And I am in awe. Like I can't believe it. So anyhow, thank you. I want to share that. For witnessing.
Yeah. It's been awesome watching your journey too. It's been fun.
Thank you, Alex. I know. Trust is a big thing for me. And for some reason, I said, what the heck? Let's do it anyway. And here I am. It's like, yeah. And now all of a sudden, like a sisterhood is opening their arms and hearts to me. That's priceless. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So, anybody else? Anything else before we wrap it up? I know we have a little more time, but oh, check this out. So we were driving yesterday, and a truck, something flew out of a truck or a trailer in front of me, and it was an entire bag of screws and nails. Who carries that just like in the back of their in the back of their truck and risk it flying out? Anyways, I drove over it and I got like at least like 3 screws in each of my tire. Right? So like that's something that could be, because of so much practice. Like I didn't even lose one moment of I didn't lose my peace, not even for 1 second. I was like, "Oh, look, there's screws in my tires." And then, "Oh, look, tomorrow this car's got to go out. It's going to be rented." And I guess in the morning I get to take it to a tire shop, see if they can fix it before then. And get the car cleaned and then get it all out in the next 3 hours. It's funny though, I mean, it's funny that I could have lost my peace and I didn't. So I actually felt really good that didn't happen. So interesting. That nails going into my tires actually made me feel good about something. Cypher, you wanted to share something? You went on mute.
Yeah, I thought that having that attitude of being present is what made you feel this way, because sometimes things happen and our reactive nature just kicks in, and so Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. So, okay. Anybody else want to share anything interesting? Any aha moments? Any breakthroughs before we wrap this up? Okay. Well, let's see what we can go out with. Oh, yes. Someone want to say something?
I'm not sure exactly what I'm gonna say, but I just
What's up, Tim?
Yeah, hey. I come to these calls all the time and I never say anything, so I just wanted to thank you because obviously I have a little dude over here and he's amazing, but it's been a long 1 year in my relationship with his mom. So these calls have been really amazing just to listen to, especially for the minutes I get to, because I feel very isolated and alone over here. It's me and him. I work like part time and I hang out with him. And, yeah, I don't know, but I just really appreciate these calls. I'm grateful to see some of these faces I haven't seen in a while. So I just wanted to say something because I never really say anything on these calls. So hopefully, moving forward, I'll try to speak up a little bit and actually something to contribute. That's yeah.
You know that, yeah, and see, you know what's crazy? Because you and I have gone through a lot of things, a lot of trainings and stuff like that, and you always say you don't say much and you don't contribute much, but you always do. Whenever you do share, you do always contribute on some form or another because you have a level of authenticity that just comes through. And you're vulnerable right away, and you're always a contribution to a space. So I hope that you continue to see that and let these calls and let what I'm saying here remind you of the contribution that you always are and you will be no matter what you do. All right, so yeah, cool, awesome, thank you for being here. And if you ever need to chat or anything, just reach out to me too, okay, about relationships, and plug in. There's a lot of communities in which when we're a part of a tribe, we don't feel so alone, and you're never alone.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
And
Thank
Sam,
you.
I'm right down the road. Reach out to me.
Oh, there you go.
Right down the road, like 2 minutes away.
All right.
Sam, I'm also a single father. I have a 2-year-old baby. That's why I put in the chat. You have a beautiful baby, and it's hard to. I don't know what you're going through, but I've been going through a lot with my baby. I'm pretty much taking care of him most of the time, and it's hard. But when you see that you have that companionship and you just focus on doing your best and being grateful for having that soul next to you, it makes a whole lot of difference. I just start appreciating not feeling lonely, not feeling bad, but feeling companionship and being able to guide him in the best way I can and just giving him love. That's the best. So I'm with you, brother. I know what you're going through.
Appreciate it. Yeah, it's been. I mean, I'm in a relationship, but it's the most alone I've ever felt in any relationship. And it acts every day like walk on eggshells to do every little thing. So it's tricky. I don't know why it's so hard, but it's been beautiful, and there's moments from crying, happiness, moments from just like I have to go outside and just like scream.
Yeah.
And then there's great moments where everything's fine with us. Like we're happy, we're okay. Like I don't know what, and then like 10 minutes later, I did some little thing, and now like I'm the worst human ever. That's how I feel when she talks about it.
I'm doing in the foundation something for domestic violence for guys because guys don't have that support because we have these big egos with this, the guys. So, but a lot of guys go through domestic violence, and I'm working with the University of Miami to see if we could do something for that with a psychologist friend of mine because I have not found support for men that go through domestic violence. So that's something that hopefully I can contribute at some point because we need support. So
yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. So Yeah,
Thanks a lot.
of course, Tim. So there is also in the times where we feel like we're attacked and we're shamed and we're guilted and all those things where we're attacked. There is a way to think, right, that the course talks about, and it has to do with the law of giving and receiving. So this is from Marianne. She says, "What I give to others, I will receive." All right, so you gotta just think about that of your experiences. What I put into the universe will put to me. I cannot escape the law of cause and effect, which is my protection when I am loving and my teacher, when I am loving and my teacher when I am not. Today I choose to be generous, for generosity is in my self interest. What I give to others, I receive. I will not be tempted today to deny, however subtly, the ways I withhold love from others. I will not feign confusion about the genesis of unfortunate events in my life. When I know in my heart what I did or did not do to cause them, I atone for my errors and begin again today, knowing love and love alone will guide me truly. I seek to give today what I wish to receive. May I give love, understanding, forgiveness, and encouragement. May I listen well, nurture well, and speak with kindness. And when I deviate, may I be forgiven. So, in that relationship that you're in, like this is how will you give love no matter what? How will you give understanding no matter what? And forgiveness no matter what? And either it's love or a teacher for love. And I think one of the things that Eric was sharing earlier is about like taking it personal, right? It's like you're not the worst human being in the world, even though it was said to you. It was said you're the worst, you're dumb, you're whatever, and you always this, you never this, or whatever. Any of that stuff, you want to start to build this sovereign shield around yourself that you are, as Marlene said earlier, you're whole, complete, and perfect, right? And that your son also is going to watch how you respond to things in life, right? So start to call in like a larger version of yourself to deal with the conflicts that you're dealing with, because the smaller version of us will just react whatever way we react to trauma or attack. We do, whether it's like I go and hide, or I withhold my love, and or I respond with anger and all of that, right? Like let's respond with spirit, the larger version of ourselves. So hopefully that yeah, that supports you.
It does. Thank you, man.
Okay, so that takes us just about to the very end of our call. Thank you guys all for being here, and whether you spoke or not, like we shared in the beginning of the call, is a contribution. Okay. um and Babeski says, when I was behaving this way, I realized all my hormones were out of whack and my adrenals were burnt out. I was essentially running on empty, and this made me highly, highly irritable. Okay. Yeah. So it's not you. She may just have her hormones out of whack. Awesome.
Alex, may I share something?
Yeah. Yeah. Please.
Cool. Tim, what's up, my brother? So good to see your face. It's been a minute since we shared a meal together in the middle of some fun stuff we were doing back in the day. Something that and it's not about like well, let me leave the qualifier out of it. It's spoken in some ancient texts, one of them being the Tibetan Book of the Dead. And the Tibetan Book of the Dead, not to be like morbid or anything like that, but there's a process of every soul being incarnated back into this reality, or whatever we want to call, matrix, here and now. And that soul in the final stage of coming back and choosing to come back into this incarnation, if we want to just play with that idea as possible for a minute here, speaks into that we choose in a moment. We walk into this like great big crystalline cave, for instance, and there's all these like energetic bodies of men and women that are all making love with the intention of creating life, childbirth, right? And that there's a feeling in the soul, the sovereign soul, like no ego in this particular case. The sovereign soul chooses from some kind of energetic frequency or whatever it may be. That soul's intuition is greater knowing that I am, chooses one set of these humans to come into, and then when we see the light, we're actually being born through the birth canal, right? But in that, there's a saying that has really supported me, especially with like children involved in relationships. Time things get really hard, quote unquote, is that we choose every hardship in this lifetime knowing that it is for us and we cannot fail. So like any of these hard times in relationship and when children are involved or any of these things that feel like, oh my God, how can this even be? This is, oh my God, how did I create this? Well, why did I author? All these thoughts start to come in like, okay, this is here for me. You know, and knowing that there's these like choices kind of allowed for me to sit back in this sort of higher self and look in and be like, oh, this is one of those experiences that I get to learn. And this is for me. And I chose this. I chose this all the time. And in that choosing shifts, it's almost like the miracle, you know, that the going from fear to love, the holy instant for me. So I just wanted to share that. It was coming through. And I know these relationship things are not easy. Well, I don't know, but I've had an experience that they can be a little tumultuous, and you know, that's really helped me out. So I just want to share that for the benefit of the group and for myself to hear.
Awesome. Thank you, Adam. All right, Claudia, last share. Take us out.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if I was going to share or not.
You raised your hand.
Yeah, I raised my hand. So I just want to share something really quick about like the death, like Adam said. When you have an experience, right? Sorry, yes, a lot of noise everywhere. This lab. Sorry. Here I go to another. When we go through this different, experiences, like team is going through, and the gentleman that spoke about having a 2-year-old and being a single dad, all these things, right? Then it came to my space, dear friend who just went through an amazing personal ceremony with her second child. It's her second child, but her husband's first. And when she was in the middle of her labor, well, first it happened so fast. She didn't feel pain. She thought was having those contractions that start like a month before you're delivering a baby, and it went fast for her. So mainly they were not prepared. The midwife just made it 30 minutes before she was pushing the baby out. But the main story here is like it wasn't a point that her ego mind was taking over her body and the intelligence that she knows that she is as a human being. And she started listening. You won't be able to deliver this on your own. You have to go to the hospital to get an epidural. You have to go in the hospital for them to help you. You know, it's going to be complicated like it happened to your son. It's going to get stuck in the birth canal for like so many hours, an hour, 2 hours, whatever. All these thoughts of her past experience with her first child started showing up. And then she heard another voice about herself. And it said, rise, woman, rise. When you rise, surrender, everything will pass. And then the baby head was already between her legs, and she rise up, and she was in her bathtub. They didn't have no time to do the bath or the bathtub that it was supposed to be happening there. And she raised up, and she said, now push. And she said, I pushed, and the baby came out, and her husband was holding it the other side. So for the powerful, she kept repeating to that voice and telling her, you cannot do this. She kept saying, my body is intelligent. and will push this baby with no help from anybody else but myself. And then she did this such a way that she was able to stand up, and she heard, "Rise, woman, rise." And then she got up with the energy that she had known according to her mind body. she had no energy, and she pushed out, and it was out. It took her like one push. So this is like how deep this conversations get to come in our spaces. So thank you everybody for your share. It's so deep and receiving with a lot of love. And I'm glad that I'm part of this too as well, all together in one community that is the world. Thank you.
All right, awesome. Well, beautiful share. Thank you for taking us out. We'll see you guys on Sunday. Have a blessed Wednesday. Go out and create more peace and more love, and don't withhold love anywhere. Have a good one, everybody. Take care. Later, y'all.